easily ignored and it's hard to identify. So it's something that if we can make it a priority across the board, I think that's beneficial. But be going into bodybuilding, and I know people who have done this because it gives them something else to think about, something else to fixate on. But we push our bodies and our protocols to the extreme. If there's an underlying issue, a health issue, whether it be mental or physical, it's just going to exasperate it.
Yeah, because you don't want to. I think that's what we talked about. This sometimes it's good to go seek some mental health, especially going through like prep can be one of the biggest pains because your mind is you just have so many things worn through it, and so many things going on with your body, and then
Yeah.
you feel like you don't know what you want to do, and some people will overlook it, but then sometimes it's best to go ahead and say, you know what, I need some help. We got here a comment from a man, Sean Miller, coming through. Sean says. He says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, brother. Also, from my man, Black Panther, he has also a comment. I got to put my old man glasses on one more time. He says this. He says, having a personal God is part of obtaining good mental health. Yeah, but I'm still like this. Religion sometimes can be twisted in a way where it's not always good. It's good that I think it's a personal choice with you, what you believe and what your faith is.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man, Black Panther says, where's Cara Barnes is from? He says, where you at?
So right now I live in Phoenix. I've been in Phoenix, Arizona for 22 years. I was an Army brat, so I lived all over. But my family's from East Tennessee.
Uh-huh. So who served, your mom or your dad?
My dad, Army.
Army. Oh well, I say this. I have my oldest niece and my youngest nephew served. I don't say thank you to your father. I don't say thank you for his service. I say as a citizen, I appreciate the sacrifice has he made you and your family on behalf of us
Yeah,
of this country. Thank you is never enough because you know what, you can say thank you service to somebody who serves you or somebody who's your nurse or your doctor, but for military service people, thank you is never enough. And
I agree.
yeah, and you travel. You ever been overseas in your travels?
I not really. When I was a kid, I lived in Germany. We were stationed there, but I was too young to really remember a lot of it. And I don't travel much. I'd like to. Maybe one day I will. I don't get overseas much at all, and because actually, hopefully, one day I'll compete overseas. That's kind of a goal. So, but no, I don't travel a whole lot. I kind of stay in my little bubble. I've got 10-mile radius between my house and my gym, and that's where I've spent my last 20 years.
I, I can tell you, I'm a country boy. I I can tell you, I used to when like most travel I did with memory school would get school trips. Then a couple of times with my family, my sisters and my nieces and nephews, we went to Florida, to Disney World, went to Virginia. This year was the most I ever traveled I can remember. I went to Tampa, this past summer. I went to visit my oldest niece and my great nephew in Atlanta, and I'm planning to also go on a trip. I'm going to a show. This it's going to be like the end of summer, the first of the end of summer, because you know
Okay.
what, I want to do more. I mean, I never really did a lot because most of the time I was working. I had two jobs. I
Mm,
was working. Yeah, I was working at a gas station when I was 16, and then I was working here at a textile factory. I worked here there with school for a little bit. I even worked at a strip club when I was. I remember guys
lots of
coming
things
and
like
said,
that.
yeah, I remember guys telling me, George, you work at the club. It's not that exciting, guys. Yes, you can see halfway butt naked women, but still, some nights it's not a good night. There can be a pain like any other woman.
You got to make money. I don't hold anyone back or any ill thoughts to anyone. You got to make a living.
Yeah, you can't make money. The way things are going, yeah, because Arizona, I know. Whew, I've eaten crafty ladies. I know one lady that I interviewed that was one of your clients, and that is Elisa, amazing young lady who just also she turned pro about the same time as you did back in
Okay.
2024.
Okay.
Yeah, Lisa. I forgot how I forgot how to pronounce her name. Why? Uh, you know, if
It's not, it's not sticking
it's
out.
I got a picture here. I'll probably bring it up later, but
Okay.
yeah. But back to Leslie. Why I say Lisa Leslie?
Oh, yeah, I know Leslie.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
Leslie.
friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Why I say Lisa? I, you know, I'm getting my old timers,
Yeah.
But Leslie, she just made
Yeah,
her pro
she's
debut.
a fellow Phoenician. We came up about the same time. She got her pro card at the USA's in 2024, and I got mine at the USA Masters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the same year because yeah, she was the Masters because I know she did the. I saw her when she did the Miss International. I think she had a great physique, and it was I'm surprised I didn't get a pro card. And then we reached out, and then we finally set up an interview after she did the Masters USA's, and and she looked pretty good. I mean, she looked pretty good at the Triple O. I mean, congratulations. I know she's I'm hoping maybe we get to see maybe another show for her, maybe not this year, but next year.
Yeah. Yeah, she's doing what we're all doing, just trying to continuously improve ourselves. That's bodybuilding. It's not how good you look now, it's how good you look compared to your last show. And are you constantly improving? So she works hard. She's, doing her thing and working to get better.
hmm So I know you've been a coach and a trainer for a good while. How long you been doing that?
About 12 years, I think. Um, Time goes by really fast. And it's like all of a sudden it's 2026. I started working on the coaching side in 2013. So I guess it's been about 13 years now.
Yeah, and that's pretty good because I've seen on your social media you got quite a few clients. Just saw recently some of your clients just competed at a show. I mean,
Yeah,
you've
we
got
had
anybody.
two this weekend, did their first competitions. We had a bikini competitor here locally, and then a men's physique competitor, but he went to his home state in Iowa to compete. And they both did really well for their first competitions this past Saturday.
Well, congratulations. We had quite a few shows this past weekend. As you know, might
Yeah,
get them up. Or we have a man, No Dose. He says, hi to everyone. Thank you, No Dose, for coming through. Also, my man Black Panther saying this. He says, uh, the Rising Phoenix will be in Chandler, Arizona.
Chandler, yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's a very popular show. The Rising Phoenix, also the Arizona Pro, if you
Mhm.
recognize that also. And also he says this, give me a second, he says, strong women can come together to expand the shows for women's bodybuilding and women's physique. Yeah, we just got to get
I
some numbers. I
agree.
know, yeah,
Yeah,
just if you hadn't heard, just about a few days ago, Austin Carr, who promotes the Steve Carr show, just added women's physique to his show lineup.
I did see that. I think it's what, November 7th?
Yeah, it's about the same
Yeah,
weekend as the Romanian Muscle Fest because the Muscle Fest is going to be on Sunday the 8th, and this show is going to be at Saturday the 7th.
yeah, yeah. I made note of that. Yeah.
Yeah. As you know, it's a pretty good show. I really respect what he's doing, giving the opportunities for special. I was surprised. I was going to feel like any division he was going to bring to that show was probably going to be the high heel division or the TNA division, like
Yeah.
wellness or bikini. As you know, those are very popular. And there's a new division. Excuse me, fit model. I mean, I've interviewed a lady a couple ladies who done fit model. A woman just turned pro last year. Nice ladies. I have nothing against them. I've been following bodybuilding for a long time, and I've seen how the sport has evolved, especially for the men and the women. And to me, I feel like what's the point of bringing another division that's going to end up looking like the division that is supposed to replace it?
So I've got mixed feelings on it too, but from what I see is I do understand what the promoters and the powers that be are saying, and that it is the entry is a little bit easier. So it's more accessible for new athletes. And eventually, as these women continue to lift, just like all of us, they're going to continue to put on muscle. They're going to grow, they're going to develop, and a good portion of them may potentially go up in divisions. So I don't hold that against anybody. It's a business. Do what's best for the business. Do what's best for the athletes. On the other hand, though, I want to see more. Personally, I want to see more women's physique and bodybuilders come out. I think if we want to have shows for us, then we've got to be at the shows. Now, I say that having not done one yet, because I also feel like you need to wait until you're ready. But how many shows have you seen already this year where the numbers are really small? As a
Yeah.
promoter, how many shows are you going to continue to do where you only have three, four, five, six athletes show up? So I would like to see, I don't, yeah, let the fit model and the bikinis and the heeled divisions, let them grow, but I want to see our divisions grow too.
Also, the thing is also the factor of expensive bodybuilding. It is expensive. It's a sport, but somewhat of a hobby. Where if this is a professional sport, you can make a living off of. There's only like a very 2 to 1% that can really make a living off of bodybuilding. But everybody else is just.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man Big Keith. He said like this: you still competed to pay Paul. You know,
Yeah.
for you ladies, show day is probably when your biggest expense because for guys they have their expense, but truthfully, you just wear a pair of banana hammocks, some board shorts, slap on some tan, and just put on some mousse in your hair. But you ladies, you have to have presentation. You have to have a look to you. You have to be a walk in a fine line of femininity and muscularity.
Our stage presentation can cost thousands between the hair, the makeup, the tan, the nails, the suit. It's a very expensive day. Generally speaking, men pay more in prep to get to stage because their physical needs are greater, more protein, their food is more, their supplements and all those things cost more money because it's more volume. So we both pay a price, an actual price. It's expensive for men and women. But as far as women's physique and bodybuilding, it takes time to build the body. It doesn't take as much time for fit models. It's more accessible in that regards. Most women's physique and women's bodybuilding, they've been lifting for years before they step on stage. Some longer than others, 2, 3, 4 years. So it's hard to tell a new athlete, oh, you're going to be great in 4 years. Well, people don't want to hear that. They want to be great now. So it just takes time, and that's part of the price that we pay in the more muscular divisions is the time.
Yeah, and like I think a lot of competitors want everything quick, fast. Especially younger competitors want everything quick, fast, in a hurry. But there's no quick,
Yeah.
fast in a hurry. It's like you hit
No.
that. Yeah, it takes maybe some ladies might take 5 or 6 years before they start finally get on stage because they want to see that time develop and grow. So we
Right.
have a couple of comments, and
Okay.
we have here from my man. Shout out to my man Black Panther. He says this. He says, "Women's bodybuilding, women's physique are great divisions for women who want to be the best versions of themselves. In professional opinion, I am a strong fan of women's bodybuilding." He is a fan.
Mhm.
Also, he says this, shout to my man. He says, Mexico and Brazil can be great places for women's bodybuilding because they just added a couple of shows to the lineup. They already have physique at those shows, but this year is added women's bodybuilding. We have here Haley, and Haley says, "Hi, hi, Haley. Is that
Hi.
somebody you know?"
I don't know.
And probably get people. Hey, people come here like this. It's like the episode of when Charlie Murphy meets Prince, not Prince, and then this guy Nikki Free hanging with them and said like, Prince got Shalimar got a new girl. She fine as a motherfucker. He said, when I get a new girl out here, say, hey, George got a new girl. She's fine as a motherfucker. They get excited when we get the girls out here. So what we're gonna do, guys, is while we get Cara here. And if you want to follow her, links in the description of this live. If you want to check her out, support her, reach out and give you interest. Also, she's a coach and trainer. You do both competitors and lifestyle.
Yes, online and in person.
All right. So if you're someone in the Phoenix area who's interested in working with her, and also if you're a competitor who's interested in working with her, reach out to her and generate interest. But guys, I know she's a lovely lady. She got some pretty eyes too.
Oh, thank
And
you.
guys, reach out and generate interest. Don't be weird. Don't come on. This I know you guys. It's one of my crimes. I have to admit to you, Cara, is I'm a muscle person. Oh, you ladies, y'all excite me, your muscles. You just kind of bring something out of me. But I try to keep that under wraps and try to keep it calm because you know what. Okay. But I respect what you do as a competitor. Shout out to my man Black Panther. He says, "Beautiful smile, Cara. You love
Oh,
your
thank
smile."
you.
So we're gonna jump into the links. You want to follow the links in the description is live. You want to support them, reach out into your interest, but don't be that weird guy. So here we are. We're gonna pop into our IG here, and this is one of your competitors here. This lovely lady here.
Yeah,
Uh,
Chrissy. She's the one that just competed this weekend.
yeah, I mean, and wow, I mean, she's bikini. Shit.
She is muscular for bikini, but that's her physique, and we didn't want to change that because that's what makes her unique, and that's part of what makes her beautiful.
Yeah, well, she, like my other guy says, she is beautiful. Yeah, you should
Yeah.
be proud of her. This was her first show.
Yep. Yeah, very first one.
And here's this young man. Who is this boy here?
This is Austin. He's the one that went to Ohio for his first show. He did the teen and novice in men's physique.
How old is he?
19.
He's still, like you said, his breath smell like Similac. He's still wet behind the ears, huh?
Yeah, but look how much he just glows on stage.
Yeah,
You,
yeah, he
you
should be
can't help
proud
but
of
love him.
himself. I know his parents are proud of. They're proud of their
They
baby.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes time. It work. That's him. His little girlfriend's eating, and there he goes again. Impressive young man. So
Yeah, he did
so
good.
and this was his bodybuilding debut too, right?
Yep. Yep. His next one, I hope, will be here in Phoenix with us. But yeah, he's got a big career in front of him. He's young and he's hungry and motivated. So he's got a big career ahead of him.
Yeah, that's the thing when you're young. You just feel like you're indestructible. You can do just about anything.
Yeah,
I remember those
right.
days where you can run all day and run all night. But then you get to my point in life, like I said, I'm gonna be 52 in November, and I got two bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin. But he should be proud of himself. And and here she is, the lovely Miss Cara, as she's giving a little speech, and we listen to what she's saying to you.
Prep is in full swing. Just got back from cardio. I actually started in February. I take a really long prep. It works better for my body. My body's really slow to respond, so it allows me to take it. Hey y'all, competition prep is in full swing. Just got back
So
from cardio.
you just competition prep, full swing.
Yep.
So what show are you prepping for?
If all comes together, my goal is the Rising Phoenix. Yeah.
So you are going to do, or actually correctly, you'll be doing the Arizona Pro. Rising Phoenix is part of it, but you're doing the part with women's physique, the Arizona
Correct.
Pro.
Right. So
Yes,
it'd be the Arizona
because
Pro at the Rising Phoenix. Yeah,
yes,
it's a local show, which I don't have many opportunities to compete locally as a pro. It's the only one I have. But it's also, I think, a really special organization. So I'm excited.
yeah, I'm a fan of most definitely of the Rising Phoenix, of the guy who runs it, Jake Woods. Every time I gotta say his name, yo Jake, I want that money, I want that gun. I can't help it every time. I saw him a couple of times in some shows, but yeah, I mean, it's a great organization. It was, for a long time, it was an organization that saved women's bodybuilding when
Yeah.
other shows promoters were pushing out. As I say, let's the quote from my master Raza Ghul, as they walk cry behind them and stab them in the heart. And here she is, who also with another speech here.
Watching. Best case scenario, you've hired an opposing coach. You may see
This is my
them
posting
1 to 2
advice.
hours a week, maybe more if you're lucky, but most of your practice, you're going to be either at home or in the gym on your own time. You're practicing by yourself. I've seen it time and time again. An athlete will stand in front of me and put more effort into their posing than I know they do on their own. But here's why it's important. Unless you're a seasoned competitor or you're used to performing in front of people, your brain is going to shut down when you go on stage. It's just going to happen. The adrenaline and the emotion and the excitement are going to kick in. Your brain's going to shut down. Your body's going to go on autopilot. My first time on stage, when I stepped off and I gave my coach a big hug, the first thing I said was, did I even do it? I had no recollection of going through any of my poses. So I'm telling you, practice like your coach is watching. That way, when your brain shuts down and your body goes on autopilot, you're going to do what you've practiced.
Good advice. One thing, pose is the most important part of presentation on the stage. When you come out and competing, here she is with us, talking with a couple of ladies who are very well. I mean, yeah. I think one of them looked like that must be Christy. Wow, she got a nice.
Yeah, Chrissy and Tanisha, who's also getting ready for her first show. She'll be doing wellness.
Wellness. That's the vision I'm particularly interested in. And who's this gentleman behind you?
That's my coach, Craig Tennell.
And how long
He's
y'all
been
been
my
working
coach
together?
since I started.
Yeah, that's been a long relationship. I mean, and he also y'all work together in training other clients too.
You're right. We do. He owns the gym, but we work as a team when it comes to the training. So all of our clients get two coaches.
Yeah, here she goes, Christy again. Wow.
Yeah, she posts a lot.
She got the body to post for it. Here she is again.
Pro, one thing that I love about this sport is it's going to evolve as you evolve. When I started, I did my first competition in 2013, had no idea what I was really getting myself into. I just wanted the experience, but I didn't place. So I was like, well, fuck that, I want to win. So I fast forward years later in development and growth to I wanted to compete to win. I got my first trophy. I was like, well, fuck that, I want first place. So I thought, one more show, let me at least get first. Well, that wasn't enough, then I had to get overall. Okay, I gotta go back, one more show, going back in. Well, once I got that, I thought, well, you know what? What's this pro thing everyone's talking about? Maybe I'm gonna keep going on this. Maybe that's where my journey's taking me. Kept competing, got my pro card in 2024. And at the time, I had no desire to compete on the pro stage. It's not what I'm doing. I just want to make it to that pro card. Well, now I'm in prep for my first pro show. So it's gonna evolve. It's gonna evolve as you do, and that's one thing that I love about this sport is continuous improvement. Hi, y'all. I'm Cara.
Yeah, it is a proven phase in bodybuilding to grow, develop, to work on the aesthetics. Like you got your pro card in 2024. What was that experience like for you when you officially they told you you're IFB pro?
It will, until the end of time, be one of the most amazing experiences I've ever been through. If you don't know, the USA Masters, you have to not just place first, you have to get overall. And I've had a lot of experiences on stage where I was close, but not quite. And I did the USA's last year, close, but not quite. I was actually fifth in that lineup, so arguably not really close enough. But it was kind of a tune-up show, and I put my head down and made the adjustments and the changes to my protocol. Went into the USA Masters with a much different package. It was much more dialed in. My conditioning was better. Everything just, for the first time, really clicked for me. But there's always this lingering doubt in the back of my head. And I'm sure everyone goes through that to some degree. But as confident as I felt, I was just, make this another show where it's not my time and it's not going to come together. Did I do enough? Did I pose enough? Was everything what I needed it to be? And I did two divisions. I did the 40 up and the 45 and up. I got first in both of my classes in both of my divisions. And okay, so then you come back into the evening for the finals where you do the overall presentation. But still, you don't know. It's at that point you've done all the work and it's in the judge's hands. But I just went into it with, I'm going to give it everything I've got and we'll see how this goes. And I thought maybe there's a chance I'll get one. That's what I was hoping. But again, that doubt in the back of my mind is, okay, maybe I wasn't tight enough. Maybe I messed this pose up. Maybe you just beat yourself up. It's just also part of the sport. But when they called it 40 and up as the overall winner and the pro card, it just, even just talking about it now makes me emotional. I know we all work hard and we all put everything into it. I don't want to diminish what any athlete does, but it was like, finally, all of these years and all this work, it finally came together. But how cool would it be to be called twice? But that's not going to happen, that self-doubt. So, you go off stage and you circle around and you come back and my adrenaline, I was still an emotional wreck and I'm crying and my heart's pounding and I'm getting ready to go back on again. And we did our overall presentation, our mandatories and our quarters. And we do our pose down and I stand off to the side. I'm like, there's no way. These girls have more muscle than me. I got it once, I'm happy. And then they called my name again. It just, talking about it still puts me back in that feeling of what it was like to be on stage at that moment. And it's hard to put it in words. It just was an amazing experience. If nothing else good ever happens to me in life, and I know it will, I'm just saying that, but those are memories that I'll never forget. It was
That's
an amazing night.
It's a precious opportunity because you know what? Some ladies have competed for a long time and they'll get that chance to get a pro card. And then the work, the consistency, the regiment, the dieting, the training, and then you have only a few minutes to present your bodies. And then when somebody say, "Hey, let's congratulate our new IFB Pro," that is sensation. I've seen ladies who cried, who broke down. Some cases I know ladies who had to apply because they did a show, but wasn't enough enough competitors, so they have to apply for a pro card. And still,
Yeah,
I just interviewed a lady. Her name is Clara Crowder. She just got a
I
pro
saw
card because she
that.
did a show. Yeah, and she was so happy because it was so exciting that even though she had to put an application, but still she's now IB Pro. We got here comment shot to my man Black Panther here. He says this. It says, bodybuilding is growing in numbers worldwide. It's going worldwide, but it's still kind of a fringe sport if you look at it from the aspects of it. It's not as mainstream as you look at the other sports. Right now, they're about to start the, I think, FIBA Cup in a few weeks, I
Yeah,
believe.
well,
Yeah. Also, having good mental health is essential for inner peace, personal relationship with God, and longevity and true happiness. That's good. And also, he says this. He says, beautiful hair, Cara. You are the greatest. Yeah, I'm telling
thank
you.
you.
These guys, yeah, you get these new girls like your car. Yeah, yo. So what we're gonna do is this. I found a little interview she did. I'm not her first interview. I mean, I wanted to be her first, but now I'm not. I'll take seconds. I take seconds. So we have the interview she did right after the show, and it is with the one of the guys who worked for the show.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I learned, my master taught me: beware surrounds all time, your master way. Never get a show full of below. So
Well, you're
I found
definitely
this.
my first podcast.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm her first. So here's the interview. And you want to check it out, you can go to the muscle contest. It's there. You can find it. You got to dig deep because it's in there in the record. So here we go. We're going to do the interview with Cara, and she's talking with her and her trainer about her experience now becoming an IFB Pro.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm two-time Olympian IFBB Men's Physique Pro here in beautiful Orange County, California at the Masters USA's with our newest IFBB Pro, Miss Cara Barnes, and the 45 and 40 Women's Physique. Congratulations. We commend you on a job well done.
Thank you.
My pleasure. You're welcome. Tell us about this journey that led you to the victory today, and also tell us who we have here with your amazing support.
Well, it's hard to put in words the journey because I've been, like most athletes, doing this for a very long time. It's been a long journey, but this is my coach, the Tin Man, Craig Tennell. He's been with me every step of the way. My first show going all the way back to 2013. Prep for this show started in March of this year, so it's been a long year. I cannot express how excited and gracious and thankful I am. It's been an amazing ride, and I'm so happy and excited and proud to be part of the IFBB Pro League now.
We're proud and excited to have you part of the IFBB Pro League. We're excited for that journey to continue as well. A little bit from the coach. Tell us how it is working with Ms. Barnes as well.
It's real simple. Tenacity, dedication, perseverance, can-do spirit. I could go on and on and on, but you want the product, here it is.
That is amazing. I mean, that says a lot, right? I mean, there's no man or woman that's an island. It does take a village. And today, that paid off. What, 11 years in the making, yes?
Yeah, 11.
11 years in the making. We started competing in the same year, April 13, 2013. We're both part of that IFBB Pro League as well. Any plans competing anytime soon now that you're in IFBB Pro?
Yeah, I will have to talk about it and lay it out, but yeah, absolutely. I'll probably do a Wings of Strength show next year.
Not a muscle contest show?
You know, I'll have to, actually, I'll have to look at the schedule because I love the muscle contest shows.
But you are based in
Phoenix,
as well.
Yeah, so there is a pro show for women in Phoenix with the Wings of Strength, but yeah, the muscle contest has put on a phenomenal show. So yeah, anything I could do to support them and be a part of it again would be awesome.
Hey, you know, we appreciate your support. We appreciate all the love. We commend you once again on a job well done. Congratulations. Safe travels to the two of you. Go enjoy, go eat, go have fun, bask in the victory. It is yours. And again, Miss Barnes, welcome to the IFBB Pro League. We thank you so much once again. Let's go. Congratulations. Two-time Olympian IFBB Men's Physique Pro, Patrick Fulgham, Miss Barnes, new IFBB Pro muscle contest, signing off. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm two-time Olympian.
Well, congratulations there. I mean, it was experience, you know.
Yeah.
What, you know, what was your feeling like that day when you were getting interviewed? What was going through your mind?
Just pure freaking joy. I couldn't contain myself. I was so excited. I was so
Hmm.
excited. This bodybuilding has been, there's been a lot of ups and downs as a competitor. And for me, I've had some amazing experiences, but I've had more downs than ups. So that was just elated, just pure joy. Like finally it all came together. And yeah, that was a pretty remarkable experience. And just watching that again makes me emotional. And I'm not an
Well,
emotional person, George. It's not like me.
well, me, I'm emotional. I'm a Scorpio. We have different forms of emotions. We
Uh-huh.
can be very nice and kind, or we can be very crazy, depending. You know, like I said, I have a little part of me. But yeah, I mean, it's experience when you get that time and work you put into it, and then like you said again, you went through a lot. Like I know there was a time where you didn't compete for a good few years. You came back in 2021, and you were gone for what was going on with your life at that time.
There was a lot of changes in my personal life. Some of it was, I know I needed time from a bodybuilding standpoint, I needed time to grow. Because I ended up in 2013, 14, and 15, did 3 shows kind of back to back. I learned a lot about my body and what it needed to go through in the process to get the conditioning that I needed. But I wasn't competitive. If you look back to my earlier shows, I wasn't necessarily competitive. And that wasn't good enough for me. Just doing it for the sake of doing it wasn't enough. So part of the from 2015 to 2017 was just growing. And then I did a show in 2017, and I was almost, but not quite. You know, I got second in that show, and had put on a fair amount of muscle, but I wasn't dry enough and conditioned enough. So I didn't compete again for a few years after that. And during that time, from 17 to I think it was 21 or 22, when I competed again, I made some choices in my personal life that bodybuilding became my life. Everything in my life is centered around, and we're competitors who've done this for a long time will understand there's a lot of aspects of life that we don't always participate in. We make a choice not to because we're separating ourselves out because of our goals. We don't want to be around food. We don't have the energy to be around people. We can't be around alcohol, or if we can, we're not partaking, so it's not as much fun. And then so I just literally went from a, a lifestyle where I was trying to fit into bodybuilding to where bodybuilding became my lifestyle. And there will be some people that would say that's not healthy, or in the long term, that's uh, not, you know, a lot of people would look at it with disdain that there's more to life than bodybuilding. But that was the choices that I made. And that's a lot of life changes for me in those years. But that's also when bodybuilding got real for me. And that's also when I started winning and getting hardware and uh, having more to show for the experience than a story of, well, I stepped on stage and this is how it went.
Yeah, because I think everybody takes something out of the experience of bodybuilding. If it's something that maybe make improvements in their lives, or just something that the goal of maybe becoming an IFB pro, and then life happens. I've talked to ladies where they have, you know, like they have things in their life like family and friends that are more important, and they want to spend time with that. And then when, you know, especially if you or someone who have children, you want to spend more time with your kids. If you have
Rightfully
things in
so.
your life, job opportunities. You want to take a chance of those because you know what? Again, bodybuilding is a business sport,
Mhm.
and you want to pay the bills, keep the lights on. You know, you can always come back to it when you're ready. We got here a comment from my man, you know, Black Panther shot to me. He says, uh, Arizona, Texas, and California are great places for WPD shows and women's bodybuilding shows. Yeah, I know some ladies who love to do more shows out west because there was a show, um, you know, in California, the Titan Grand Prix, but that's off the list. That was women's bodybuilding. But you have Rising Phoenix and Arizona Pro, and you know, quite a few other shows. It's back in the day, bodybuilding was a mecca for California, but now it seems like it's not so much. It's kind of spread around. Also, the comment here, I got to put my old man glasses. This says, my favorite states are Iowa, West Virginia, Indiana, Idaho, South Dakota, Texas. Women's bodybuilding shoes should be in these states. They are, but the problem is not a lot of numbers.
Yeah.
It's about how many people are going to compete. Most women don't want to do women's bodybuilding because they feel like it's so large and big and muscular. But the fact is, it's about what you bring to the stage. Give him one more. He says this. He says, my favorite states are Iowa, Indiana. Oh, I think he already said that, so forget that. He just repeated himself. He says also great Instagram pictures and videos.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So what was after? This is because I asked you, ladies, especially. You have that long prep, and you've been on that tough diet, and you deny yourself the pleasures of food, like something like the salts and sweetie. What was that thing that you had? What was that thing you desired the most after that last show?
I am a sugar junkie, so when it comes down to it, that's usually what I'm going to go for. If I get an option, like immediately after the Masters in 24, I had cheesecake. That was my celebration meal. I had 2 pieces of cheesecake. But usually that's what I'm going to go for is something sugary. Chocolate cake, you can never go wrong.
My mom used to make some great homemade, layer cakes. I used to love those. One time I made one for Christmas because she couldn't do much anymore. And she instructed me. And then the cakes didn't come out as pretty. And she ate one of them and says, son, it's not pretty, but it tastes good. I was
That's all
very
that
proud of,
matters.
I'm proud of that. We got here another comment from my man. He says this, he says, I'll give you a second. He says, bodybuilding is hard sport that involves time, patience, strict organic nutrition. Okay. Also, it says this. It says, great NPC Masters USA video. I think more women should compete in order for women's bodybuilding and women's physique to grow in numbers. And
Yeah, I
also,
agree.
he says this. He says, it says, I'm a Leo, lion August. Lions are my favorite animal that displays courage and power. I'm a Scorpion, So anyway, it's just about time and patience. But most people who look at the sport from the outside, they think I just pop some magic pills and I just get big and huge. I look like Arnold,
I
But
wish
it's
it were that
not.
easy.
Yeah, it's not that easy because it does take that time. And if you do use those things, it's a part of recovery. It's part of the process. Like I know people tell me, say, George, if they follow if they don't follow the plan I follow and take that stuff, they're not going to look like what I look like. Because you know what? Again, it's about the consistency, it's about the determination, it's about the persistence, it's about the discipline. It's not so much about motivation because motivation can go out with the wind.
Yeah, very true.
Mhm. So, and that's the thing about bodybuilding. It's a sport that I think people still kind of look at it because, it's a fringe sport. It's not as I remember back in the day, you used to catch it on ESPN, network television. Now you can watch cornhole, or I just saw a thing where a friend of mine sent me a thing. They do championship bubblegum chewing, it just,
I hope
like
that's something.
it's actually real. It's he was a traveler. My friend named David. He runs his own channel called The Female Body Forum. He was at the Ultima Classic this weekend. Shout out to my man David. He tagged me some videos and stuff. And he was traveling and he was in his motel and he see the pictures of George. Look at this. And he's like, and right there in the thing for the TV guy says championship bubblegum chewing. I say,
Oh
what the?
no.
I mean, I'm like, I've seen some crazy. It's even a pillow fighting organization.
People are bored.
Yeah, they're bored, but but the thing is, that's what bodybuilding because it's the stream of it. That's one thing that kind of gives it kind of stick out, especially when it comes to y'all women. Like, there's like 2 camps. There's the everyday person who see women like she got these big arms and muscles. She trying to be a man. You trying to be man like me? I'm a man. I got muscles. Well, they're under here somewhere. But then the other camp says like these guys. I say, hey, Cara, I like your muscles. You got to excite me. What's your thoughts on, especially with your family, what they think about you doing this?
My family has been very supportive, but I would also say they don't really understand what it is that I do. I don't see them regularly. All my family is back in Tennessee. So they see, phone calls and what I post on social media. So I don't think my mom's all that crazy about it. And that's primarily because it keeps me from going to visit her more. But but other than that, they've always been supportive of what I do. I've always been in my family the one that's most likely to do my own thing, and they know that.
Yeah. Like, you have brothers and sisters too?
I have a younger sister. Yeah,
Oh, so you're the firstborn. Oh yeah, well,
I am.
I grew up with, there was like, between my parents there was the nine of us, and
Oh
I
wow.
was like, yeah, I'm next to the last. I have a younger brother and a younger sister, and it was a big family. It's not many. It was
Yeah.
like, yeah, both a couple of my brothers are gone, and one of my sisters has passed. My father's passed. My
Mhm.
mother's been gone for quite some time. I do still have my older brother and the older sisters and my younger brother and nieces and nephews and great nieces and nephews. And that's the thing is, family is people that love you unconditionally. Sometimes maybe not, there be some issues, but they when I started doing stuff, they really support me, and that's good, because this sport, bodybuilding, it's not a sport you really do alone. It's a team effort, and you need that support because even though there's times where you know what, it can be a lot, but it's good to have people in your corner, even though they may not understand that. I talk to ladies where they tell me that their parents would say like this, the mother would say like, "Oh, sweetheart, I don't want to get so buff. You can't find a man." And then the father might say, I already got a son. I don't need another son. You already got a brother. But that's the thing is, this is about you, not so much about them.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about bodybuilding. It's a very personal sport, and it's very you have to be very comfortable in your own skin or become there. If you're not in the more muscular divisions, women's physique and bodybuilding in particular, it can take a toll on you. Speaking of mental health, it can take a toll because people aren't always nice. I would say more often than not, the interactions I have with the outside world, the outside of bodybuilding and any gym community, more often than not, it's either in awe or favorable in some way. But every now and then there's a derogatory comment. I was out once, and this was off season. So as a female women's physique, we get big in the off season, right? But you can still tell I lift and I'm muscular. I'm just big. And I hear someone say behind me, "Ma'am," and then I hear someone else say, "Oh no, that's too big to be a woman."
I
You
know
know.
women. I'm country. I know women who just as big. Don't they never really lived. They just were farm girls. I know women who like girls who work farms, drag tractors. Stories of women behind a mule and have muscles and don't
And then
It's
dense,
just
thick muscle.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think the idea of what's considered a femininity is small and slender and petite, like the bikini girls. But if you look at the
Mhm.
bikini girls now, those girls are getting buff. I mean, I'm hearing stories of girls taking, when it says, "Oh, I take anabolic." You a bikini take that? I mean, tonable. I mean, what's going on? I mean, I understand if you're on the upper epsilon, it's stuff that helps you in your process. But if you're kind of like in this division, but what I was told with bikini, some of these women try to maintain a certain look, and it's just as hard to maintain to as much as it is to grow.
Well, and that's one of the biggest difference I would say within our sport. With the smaller divisions, they have to keep their physique at a certain size. So they're still developing and building muscle, but they're not going to put on as much muscle. So it's their programs and supplement protocols are geared to just what you're saying, keeping them within a certain weight. So they don't put on too much size. Where women's physique, women's bodybuilding, I got up to almost 200 pounds this off season. And if truth be told, I should have put on more. My coach would have been happy if I put on more. There's no bikini competitor that's going to walk around close to 200 pounds. It's not necessary. So that's also in part why their level of supplementation might be what it is.
Yeah. We have it covered from my man Black Panther. Shout out to him. He's sticking in here. Thank you, brother. He says, sometimes when you want to get rid of trash in your life, you must say no to things that do not make you happy. Having great inner peace is very important. Thank you, brother. Also, he says this says, Cara, do you have other business ventures outside of bodybuilding?
Outside of personal training and running the gym, no, this is fitness as a excuse me, as a fitness professional in bodybuilding. This is all I do.
Was there anything else before you got into it? Because like I said, you got into it in 2013. That was in your early 30s. What you had any other professions, anything outside of that before you got into bodybuilding?
I worked in corporate America. I worked in for a finance firm. It was a local owned business. I had went to have several college degrees that I probably could use but don't. Um, I graduated from the University of Tennessee with a bachelor's, and then from Keller University with two separate masters. And I went into corporate America, but I didn't like it. I honestly never intended to work in corporate America. I was a bartender growing up. I worked in the food and beverage industry. I just liked going to school. I wanted to be a really educated bartender, but I like being physical. I like working. And I worked when I moved to Arizona and I got a desk job. It's part of where I actually started to lose myself because I was really good at what I did and I worked for a really great family, but I didn't like being confined to a desk all the time. I lost the drive and the motivation and being active and adventurous and athletic. I lost all of that. So and that's actually what brought me to the gym when I was trying to find myself again, look better and feel better. In 2013, well, 2012, it started, my company started closing. They made some financial, or there were some legal changes in the federal law, and the business made financial decisions not to adjust. They decided to close. And I took that as my opportunity to leave corporate America and come work in fitness. Kind of by accident, but I like being active and moving and being involved with people. So it worked out for me.
Mhm. Like I said again, I worked at the strip club. I used to help the bartenders, but I was kind of a bar
Yeah.
back, and I worked the door and security and get the money from the girls. I think people like doing jobs where it's you get a chance to be around people, to be able to move. My other jobs were mostly like when I was younger. My family were sharecroppers. We worked in the field, so we did this. We didn't work tobacco, cotton, this, that. But it wasn't as a much for living. Just try to keep things going, keep the lights on in the
Yeah.
house, and finding a job where there's a difference between a job and a career. Where the job is just paying the bill, with a career you can make a life out of it.
I think there's a lot of level of fulfillment that you get from it.
hmm We have your comment. Shout out to my man, Black Panther. He's been dropping a lot of great comments. He says this. He says, "Women's bodybuilding, women's physique outside of the U.S. have more support. Mexico and Brazil. Still, I've talked to ladies from those countries. It's not as supportive because there's still that uh, machismo of it. Because if the idea of
Yeah.
women muscle, like countries like Asia, the Middle East, there's talk about Jake's talking about maybe moving the Olympia to another country. Some people say Dubai, but the problem with Dubai, you won't be able to compete as a female bodybuilder because they don't because it's still a traditional Islamic country, and
Mm.
women can't be half naked. You'd be probably in a Punjab, and no one's going to see the muscle in detail. Shout out to my man here. He says having support system women's bodybuilding is essential. Yeah, it's true. Also, shout out to my man here. He says this Cara always block the negativity in your life. Ignore the haters. Be yourself. Do not entertain the words of ignorant people. Say meaning things. Say mean things.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate that. But also, he tells me this says, George, you are the
Wow.
greatest. Nah, brother, I'm just a muscle person, one of lax buff chicks. That's all I am. So anyway, you've been in the sport a long time. Is there anybody particularly that you follow, pay attention to, you respect their work, their ethic, or just really that represents your idea of what bodybuilding is?
Oh, that's a really good question. There are a lot of women that I follow and aspire. I believe in supporting the women in this division and in bodybuilding as much as I can because I know what we have to put our body through. At the top, obviously, Sarah and Natalia are the pinnacle in our sport. this year, if you look at these past few shows, it's been really exciting to see, Paula come up from last year to this year, and then seeing Sarah, how she competed this last weekend, and looking at her journey. So I think both of them are also amazing, but I think they're all amazing. I think all the women are amazing. The Masters, Olympia Masters champion, Nana Silva, I think is just amazing. It's just, there's so many of them if you go down the list, but I have a lot of support and pride for all the women in our divisions.
Yeah, I'm sweet. Particularly, I was coming up. I was fans of people like Corey Everson. Not so much Corey Everson. I was more of a fan of Bev Francis, Angela Langer,
Yeah,
Laura Craval. Also, Vicky Gates was one of my favorites. So many ladies. Some ladies I got to meet in person. Like I was at Tampa when I got to meet Paula here. He was just Paula. This is when she was like 25 years old. 25. And wow. Also, I got to meet Shawanka Hinton. At that point, she was number 2 in the world, number 3 in the world in women's
yeah,
physique, your division. And
yeah,
number 3, I got to meet Ashley Jones. I mean, look at me. I'm like a big bear tennis little girl. So,
yeah.
and
Ashley's amazing and so sweet, and so is Andrea Shaw, who is local, I think, at least part of the year. But
yeah,
if we go back in the archives, Corey Everson obviously is one of the pioneers in our sport, and then Linda Murray, who is prominent in the sport still today and is just a doll. She is so pleasant and such a nice ambassador, and just is so warm and welcoming. And yeah, I look at all of these women with admiration, and I try to learn something from each of them.
yeah, because I know Linda lives in Arizona. I follow her. She followed me back. Sarah Bradley started following me at IG. Andrea, I'm in love with Andrea. I think she's so beautiful. I call her my girlfriend. I mean, she brought something to when they pushed out women's bodybuilding from the Olympia and other shows, the Arnold Classic, and she came in. I think she gave it new life, bringing this great look to it, muscle and femininity all together. I'm gonna say the story. My friend name is Eunice, and Eunice, I got to shout out Eunice, and this is me and Eunice when we were at the Tampa. I was helping out with a booth, and that's in the middle between us is David Lee Roth. I would never
Okay.
get to meet that man in my life. I didn't go to Tampa to help my friend out in her booth, and he was there because he's a big bodybuilding fan. We talked with him a good bit. He was a big bodybuilding fan for years. And Eunice did this for a favor. She just gave me this new hat. I ordered some stuff from her,
Oh,
and
yeah.
she sent me this new hat with it. Eunice was at the limit back in 2022. That's 2023. That was when we were in Orlando. I always bring this out because to me, this is to quote my other guy, if you get us something, Cara, never do it for free. And for me, this is a gift. This is my payment. My friend Eunice got me this issue of muscle development. I got some stacks of it in called my comic books. I used to collect these muscle bags as a kid because again, y'all ladies. And what makes it special, not just this is like an issue with her on the cover, is that when she was at Orlando and she saw her, she signed it.
Aw.
And I love it. It's when you have someone like Andrea Shaw telling me she appreciates what I'm doing, my work and my content. I like to think, and my friend, shout out to my friend Eunice and her partner Jolene. They run Bad Rap. They are ladies who give the opportunity for women in bodybuilding representing. I would say check out the product. They were also her and my friend David, and this is David here. He was there last year at the Triple O, and here he is. That's my brother David. I love him. He's my brother. But he has his hand my girl. I love him, my brother, but I don't care about Whitney Jones. He could have switched over put the Italian, but he likes to talk about it. He likes to
Keep
talk.
your hands off Greg.
He did it again too. He was because Andre was at the on a classic at the booth running. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to calm myself. Okay, so listen, okay, but you know what? But women like her and some of these people, like you're amazing ladies to do this sport, to deal with people's ideals and prejudice when it comes to women with muscle.